Most people can sell, but not everyone will choose to lead.
Yeah.
Because leadership often shows up right, when we are under pressure.
Every day, right? I feel that I'm not good enough to be a leader. But one thing that I record you sharing with me, everybody will face fear. Just take action, right? It's how we respond towards this fear.
Hi, welcome back to our podcast. We're not just talking about real estate, but talking about leadership, entrepreneurs, and to share with people that you want to create an early career advantage or how to dominate your industry. That's why we're bringing people who are the shakers and movers in the industry to share with you what they've experienced, what they've done, and then so they can avoid all the pitfalls. And today we are excited. I have Jervis here. I've seen his growth, and you'll be amazed by his story on how he started and then how he laser in his focus. But the key thing, I'm going to leave the best to share from the horse's mouth. Jervis.
Hi, boss.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having me on this podcast.
Thank you for
I'm
coming
very
on the
excited
podcast.
to be here.
I'm sure you're going to bring a lot of value to our
hope.
listeners out here today.
Yes, I hope. I'll answer all questions authentically and vulnerably so that I can hope to impact as many viewers as we can. Yes.
Actually, maybe can you share a little bit more about yourself? But before that, right, I just want to share with every one of you. Jervis agreed to be on this podcast because he felt that he really truly want to bring a message to all the listeners out there, because in his business, I mean, all of us, time is a commodity, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes we don't have time to explain certain decision or certain thoughts in our mind. And that's what's key to learn from people who have strong leadership, and then how do they build their vision for the team.
Very
Jervis,
humble.
over to you. Yeah.
Thank you, boss. So I think just a quick summary of my past and what happened. I've been in PropNex for 9 years, right? Ever since I was 21. Right, it wasn't a decision that I decided to do full-time as a real estate agent, right? Actually, I wanted to be a part-time real estate agent. I actually studied law in SMU and business, and to give up on my last semester to do real estate full-time eventually. So
wow.
Yes.
Did your parents kill you?
Almost killed me. Yeah, and I thought that it was the results in my real estate sales for the first 2 years that was a bit slower, that they're saying, are you serious? Are you thinking of making this decision? But even in the third year when I did well, they also questioned my decision. But thankfully now they don't. Yeah.
So to give our audience a little bit of context, right? In your first few years teething period of time, right?
Yeah.
So how did you fare?
Okay, so I still remember in my first year in the business, I was really lucky because within the first month, I achieved the Platinum Award. So that was actually the first month that I can be very upfront, right? I think I made $170,000 in commission. And that was when I was 21, right? I had this thought in my mind. If I'm going to go for a corporate job, right? This job needs to pay me at least 100K per month. No one's going to hire me, right? So I said, maybe I'm not going to get hired. But my grandma's dying wish then was for me to be a lawyer.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had to sacrifice that part of her, but luckily I 不用交代了 lah because she's no longer around, but I believe that she really wishes the best for me. In the second year, I did really badly. So the first year I did about 250K. Second year, I did about 80K. And fun fact, in the second year, I worked really hard. So I remember I just transited into law school. I was a business school student. I worked really hard to top my business cohort to go into a double degree. And I was cold calling at PropNex office, then the DWG office, almost every day from 7 p.m. all the way to 10 p.m. I was door knocking myself, and really I didn't do well at all. But the third year, really I was really lucky. I pivoted my business a little bit and I made about $780,000. So that 3 years I did about $1 million in commission.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So besides achieving of the commission, right, at which point do you felt that this was more than a career?
Yes.
Because what you shared so far was a little bit more about your personal sales.
That's right.
Because this career encompasses two paths.
Yes.
I mean, besides doing sales ourselves, to be a practitioner, to walk the ground so that we understand what's happening.
Yeah.
But about building a team,
100%.
building a brand,
Yes.
and then building a revolution.
Yes, that's right. So actually, this is something that a lot of people don't know about me. I told myself when I first came into the business that I will not carry on this real estate business unless I have a team that can sustain my income. Wow. I saw this because my dad himself, he was in the real estate business for the past 17 years. He has been in PropNex the longest. My mom is also in PropNex. My whole family was fed in PropNex. So that's the reason why I've been here for the past 9 years. And I told myself that what I saw my dad was amazing. He was a very focused man. He was very driven. He was just working every day. And he was just doing sales. And he was a top producer. But he had no alternative income that supports the lifestyle. So every day, even in his 50s, he's still doing door knocking and 25s. And I didn't see myself doing that, right? So I told myself, unless my team can support my income, till the day I graduate, I will leave the real estate business, no matter how much I make, and I'll join law. Yeah. So that to me was what was important. And when you asked me a little bit about when I realized that, it was a time to build a brand, I think what happened was, firstly, I had a lot of the support from PropNext management as well, and I think I'm very thankful for that because, of course, there were some things that I had to learn at a younger age, how not to tread wrong boundaries, right, and to show respect to the company. But the reason why I did that was because I felt that not many people want to shout my name. Like, I wasn't comfortable to shout a leader's name then. I wanted my people to have like a platform, a refuge, I call it, so that they are able to use this brand to get better in sales and do better in sales. So that's when I decided to do it. Yeah.
I think you are highly successful in when you first brought the brand JNA into the market, because every one of you should remember JNA unlocked. So
Yes.
this sticks in our mind. I think that's very powerful.
Thank you.
That everyone is coming together to do one movement.
Yes.
That means they truly believe in the brand.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah. So truly like what Jervis has shared, most people can sell very well, but not everyone will choose to lead.
Yeah.
Because leadership often shows up when we are under pressure.
Yes.
Can you share with us a moment when the responsibility felt real? Yeah.
Okay,
when
of
things
course.
don't go as planned.
Wow, so many of
and
them.
how you handle it, man.
Even every day, right? I feel that I'm not good enough to be a leader. But one thing that I record you sharing with me and Boss Calvin sharing with me is that everybody will face fear. Just take action, right? It's how we respond towards this fear that take action. And I think this particular mindset that I had really shaped when I was in commandos, right? I remember there's so many things that I did where I was like, it's insane one. I don't even know why I'm doing this and I think I'm going to die. But we still took the step forward. Like whether we are jumping off the aeroplane, looking down, we're like, is it suicide? Then we just jump, right? So this type of things kind of shaped in my mind when I was really young. And there were a lot of challenges in my leadership career. So we were a very fast growing team and it was organic. So I wasn't deliberate about recruiting. I just wanted a space for, maybe I was the only child. So I wanted friends to be with me to do the business together. And my initial thought was, in SMU, there was this investment club, right?
Nice.
They are trading papers. So means they are always analyzing how to invest here and there, but they are not making real money. I said, let's be the first club that actually makes money. So that's why I created this movement amongst universities, where a lot of people wanted to join our team as an extra curriculum activity. And our team, I recall, in the first 3 years, we grew all the way till a team of 60. On the fourth year, we grew to a team of close to 100. And that was when the biggest challenge came, because on the fourth year, I had close to 30 brokers leave me. And these are the people who were the closest in my heart, right? I spent a lot of time with them, not only in work, in their private lives, speak into their lives, meet their families, have meals. And that was when they left, that was when I realized that, okay, leadership is not just purely about, hee-ha. Leadership also is about how effective you are in influencing people and how effective you are in ensuring that people under your shelter truly gets value from you, right? It's not just about friendships, And that was when the burden really hit me. And that was actually the day when I remembered I was almost deciding that I should quit the real estate business, because I was like, this is the biggest failure any leader can ever face, right? And of course, then the market was talking a lot of it. Like this young team, knew that they were going to crash, they crashed. But what happened after was even better for me, because it shaped me and shaped my character a lot more. Yeah.
I think that's an important and very valuable thing that you shared. Not just for real estate leaders that's looking to build your team, but for many business owner entrepreneurs, right? I will also share is that many people will be standing by the side and then to see if you will fail.
Agree.
I think this is the kind of times whereby that kind of fortitude will come in.
Yes.
And then this is where your leadership style will strengthen, harden, and then you're clearer of what you want to build. But to have a 30% attrition, I'm sure it's going to be a very strong hit.
Very painful.
But every leader, I think this is a good story. I remember Ismail sharing with me before is that every leader you'll face one time point in your life that you'll be at your bottom. But at that point, it's that moment whereby you decide whether you're going to give up or to move forward. That's why we have something called a step forward movement. And from there, you never look back.
Completely agree.
Yeah, but this is a very painful
I wouldn't want to go back, but I was thankful that I went through that.
Because I think sometimes it takes the people closest to us to really share with us our blind spot.
Yes.
We are not perfect. I think every one of us make mistakes. I made multiple mistakes in my personal life, professional life before, but I'm thankful looking back. Besides these people who have shared me my blind spot, there are also people who are supporting you.
Yes.
So besides the 30% attrition, there's still the 70% of close support that's still with you.
Yes. And I think there were two main groups of individuals that really supported me throughout this entire season. And I'm very, very grateful for that. Firstly, is the PropNext management team, right? I think when I took a hit, right, there was no judgment, but there was a lot of. Then I didn't really understand why was there so much grace given to me to say, you know what, this is part of life. I didn't understand that. I was like, maybe this is PR lah, right?
Yeah.
But slowly when I journeyed through, and for PropNext management, including yourself, Boss Eddie and Bobby Sung, right, journeying me through the entire next 3 years, right, I kind of realized why you guys are so strong as leaders. Because I believe that here I am losing 30. I think on the whole company level, as we are attracting so many more people, there are also a lot of people who are going. And these are the people whom you guys have invested for a long time. Way longer than my 4 years career, maybe for the 10, 15 years, right? So that was one group. The second group, like you said accurately, was the team of 70 that was there. They were the people who made me want to quit law school. So can blame them, but no, just joking. But until now, they still stayed true. They are still speaking truth in my life. They cared. They stayed through the storms, and I'm very thankful for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very important because Jervis shared about him as a commando jumping out the plane, right? Rarely, but does happen. Sometimes the main parachute don't open. You still have your reserve. So what am I talking about over here is that as leaders, especially Jervis will share with you maybe later on as well, one of the key things that we must do for our people is to allow them to fail. But with a safety net. That's the most important thing, because only when sometimes through a failure, then we realize what's our gaps. But sometimes failure come early in your career, which is a blessing. Imagine 30% at your current capacity.
Yeah, no. Even 5 years later, I also don't want.
But unfortunately, for some people, right, like the mid-career switchers or entrepreneurs, sometimes because of industry changes out there in the market, tech, AI, it might impact your current business. But the key thing is this. Think about it. You were also someone that were part of a transformation. That's why you grew early in your industry or career. So later on, when something else changes, it's adaptation.
Yes, 100%. I agree with you.
So now, as you scale, right, I think that currently you're reaching your 300. Your target is 1,000 and beyond. But truly, maybe this is from me. I want to hear from you, right? What's your vision? What's your end goal?
Okay, my vision is always very outrageous. And I like to declare my vision out because people hold me accountable. Of course, haters is going to hold me accountable as well, which drives me, not to prove them wrong, I don't have to prove anybody wrong, but it drives me to keep to my word and achieve it. So my entire vision for our team is, firstly, we want to be a big fighting force in PropNext because we know that the next generation of leaders, it's us up and coming and rising, right? And I've benefited so much from PropNext. In the past 9 years, even though sometimes I look a bit silo and solo, but with this kind of interactions that I have with the management team, it really allows me to have a whole better plan for me to plan based on all the years of experience that you have to be able to support the company. So since when the first day I came into the business, PropNext helped my parents, right? So I told myself, okay, this is the company that I want to stay, because I saw my dad from a HDB go all the way to having a multiple property owner. So I witnessed that as an only child, right? So my vision in the next 5 years is I want JNA Real Estate to grow to a team of 5,000. And that's my focus. And I think our leaders, we had recently had a leadership summit, right? And there are 40 of them, right? And they're all very, very focused on this, right? But the key thing is not about that growth, because with growth, there also can come a lot of attrition, especially if there is no systems, there's no operations, there is no retention strategy, right? So my focus is to continue, like what Boss Ismail always say, continue to give value to your people, give freely, don't even count how much you will receive, because one day you're going to receive it back. So even on my office wall, I have a whole quote there that says, as leaders, we just give freely because the harvest will take care of itself.
Wow. And I believe that's nice. So I heard that you had a leadership summit lately, right?
Yes.
So now that as you scale, leadership is no longer about doing everything yourself.
Yes.
How do you identify and develop leadership potential within your team?
Yes. I think three main things, right? Number one, I look at firstly the character of the person, right? I think character of the person is very important. Someone of integrity, someone who really put people's interests first. I think that is very rare, but it's possible to find these individuals, right? But of course, with this kind of character, there must also be the kind of aptitude. These individuals must have been there, done that. They need to be people who have, either done well in sales or done well in team building, so that when they lead by example, the people in the organization will respect them. So when they call for action, there's influence, right? And third most important thing that I believe is that they need alignment, right? Alignment, and alignment comes not when things get easy. Alignment comes when, things get tough, right? And they are there to stand through it, the storm. They know what our core values, they know what our vision is, and they'll continue to be with me. So I think these are the three things I focus on.
I think that's very, very clear that you have. I would like to understand a little bit. So we shared about thoughts, ideas, direction, vision,
Yeah.
and then the core values of your team.
Yes.
But then how do we put it into action?
Wow,
Like, for
yes.
example, right, from you planning out, like you're planning for 2026 now,
Yes,
right?
we are.
So at the pinnacle of this structure itself, right?
Yeah.
How do you engage your leaders, your managers, every team member over there?
Yeah.
I mean, what's your schedule like?
Yes.
And what do you do with them? What are some of the key events that you spend to interact with all of them, to influence,
Of
to
course.
inspire?
Yes. So one thing that I kind of have done for myself is that I know that if I'm always too on the ground doing sales, I will not have much time for my people, right? That's the reason why the first thing I had to do was to systemize my sales process.
System.
But I believe system is really important. System and scalability and replicability are the three words that I live by. If something cannot scale, it's not systematic and cannot replicate, I wouldn't do it because it's just like a fact. It's just like a random sporadic idea, which I've seen a lot of leaders, not just in real estate, have this kind of eureka moment and they do it and then it doesn't follow through, right? So the first thing is I will have to systemize my sales. I also know that as leaders, we have to lead by example in sales. We cannot just say that we want to lead and then we don't actually do sales ourselves in this generation, I believe, right? So systemize my sales. Number two, I am very thankful. I have a couple of pillars in my team. We call them pillars because they may not be people who are actively building the team, but they are actively building the organization.
Wow.
And these people are split across different departments, right? So I see it as an organization because it's very hard to lead. If my goal is 5,000, I need to run it like an organization. I can't run it as like a solo man, right? So number one, I have my events committee. So the head is this guy called Yongjin. He's there making sure that everyone is being touch base. When we come together, he's the fun guy. He makes sure that we have fun because I'm very bad at having fun. I don't even have fun. I don't even know now it's December. I'm still preparing for the next year. I see it as like a 10 years race. I don't see it as a 1 year race. But sense of belongingness is very important in the team. So that's one. Number two, we have someone who does recruitment, who focuses on recruitment. Her name is Junis. She focuses a lot on recruitment and making sure that our team expands, right? And then we have someone who's heading training. His name is Ryan, and he's the person that makes sure that everyone can replicate success in the team. And then, of course, we have this part where we hit the CSR part, where we try to do our best to tell agents that, hey, it's okay to spend money, but also try to give back to the society, to understand a little bit more about what's money for. So these are the key core pillars that we have that drives their community to push. So one thing that I always do with my team is I always encourage them to serve in the community. And the reason behind that is because as we engage individuals and they see a picture that's bigger than themselves, that's when actually a lot of expansion will happen. That's when a lot of breakthrough can happen, right? They need to have a purpose. If there's no purpose, it's just about personal sales, right? I don't think anybody will want to even cross the 200K mark because it's really more than enough, right?
True.
Yeah, so that's the reason, that's how I implement my systems.
Yeah. The 200K mark, like the Maslow hierarchy of needs.
Yes.
There's only so much that we need to cover our basics.
Yes.
But then beyond that, like what you mentioned, the vision and the purpose will set in.
100% self-actualization.
But I'm curious because on one thing is that you mentioned about your pillars, you mentioned about people which many I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
But to share with the audience is that you started your real estate business at 21. It's been 9 years.
Yes.
And different moments, even until now,
Yeah.
you're leading people who are sometimes the same age.
Yes.
Maybe slightly younger
Or
but,
older.
or older. So how do you do this? Because you see there's different segment of people that you need to interact with and different needs,
Yes.
different expectation.
Yes.
Then how do you develop them when you
Yes.
cannot rely on seniority alone?
Oh, 100%. So the biggest challenge that I have is about seniority, right? Sometimes privately, I wish that I can be older. But now as I'm getting in my 30s, I wish that I can be younger. So it's always this tension that I have. But however, the youngest member in my team currently is 22 years old. The oldest member in my team is 61 years old.
21, 61.
Yeah,
Wow.
a grandfather of 3 kids, right?
40 years,
3 grandkids, yes.
The range is 40 years.
Yes.
Wow.
So initially, as we grew JNA, right, we wanted it to be a team whereby we focus a lot on millennials then. So we call ourselves the millennials brand. But then now there's Gen Zs, right? So we have to learn how to work with Gen Zs. Oh, Gen Zs, I think they're very talented, they're very creative. Of course, sometimes we have to ground them a little bit, but their ideas always make me excited. And then we have the older individuals who care about different expectations. So one thing that I always focus when I come and meet a person is during our recruitment process, I'm not there to just recruit because I don't want to have someone in my team that I cannot connect with.
Yeah.
And individually, they can't connect with me. So there'll be a challenge when they ask for help, right? But to understand their needs, understand their motivation first. So through that, I think I will anchor them based on what their vision in their life is. Yeah, I always want them to dream, right? But of course, people of different age, your dreams will differ, right? And I will try to stretch them if I can. But if I cannot stretch, I think my most important thing is to make sure that they can make a living out of this career because it's very competitive, right? So that's one. And in my entire team, I actually do split my people based on 3. So I have one third. And this is actually taught by my boss as well. Right? I asked him, how do you manage 15,000 people? That's crazy. How do all of y'all do it? So one thing I learned is that PropNext has very talented management that cares. You can have very talented management that don't care, and no one cares, right? Because you can be talented, but if no one can connect with you, then so hard to get to you. If it seems like you are a superstar, then people, this generation, they just feel that it's fine. I don't need someone like that. But to have a talented management team that cares is something that I see how PropNext is built, and I'm just so inspired by it, right? So that's one. Number 2, the one third, I think the bottom one third are individuals who are just trying to make a living first. I will give them, team system support, PropNext systems and support to support this group of individuals. Hopefully, they can push past the needle of wanting to have a little bit more ambition, right? My top one third are individuals who are multipliers, I call them. They are people who say, I want to do well, but yet this is not what I want to do. I want to give back. I want to be part of something bigger than myself. Yeah. And the middle one third are individuals who are motivated, but they're still struggling a little bit with sales. And my job is to have way more one-to-one consultation with them to guide them. So actually, I do have a lot of consultation. I was just calculating the number of sessions of consultation I had this year. I think I've done more than 900 consultations.
900.
And it's insane. And per consultation that I have, right, is like maybe average 2 hours plus. Yeah. So
that's consultation with your team members, and
My
you still have your
agents.
consultation, sales
and
consultation.
clients, and I still have consultations. So the 900 is purely team consultations, right? Meetings, right? And for clients, it's really the rest of the time that I have with my sales team also. Yeah.
So just to backtrack to answer one question, Jervis have fun. We are very similar. Work is fun for us.
Yes, it's fun. I love it. Yeah. I love
But I had something very interesting that he shared about the 21 to 61 range of people that we have. Actually, that triggered something in my mind, I call it the metabolism of a team. Is that if you're building a team of a company, right, it's important for you to widen the range of your team over time. Why? Because your client base or people who you attract could be your co-workers, people who join your team, or even the clients, importantly, right? It's almost like an average of +5 your age or -5 your age. So if you want to increase your customer base or to bring more people into your team, this range must increase over time. But the most interesting thing is from 21 to 61, it proved one thing. Your system work.
Hopefully.
It work. Because otherwise, they wouldn't be able to apply it into what they are doing. I think that's something that you need to slowly put in place. Develop a system. Only with the system itself, then your range can increase. Because if you have your system is not in place, people that come into the company or join your team itself, right? They find that it's a misfit. You could have a good system, but it's not for them.
Yes, that's right. I think in the past, my retention rate in the team hasn't been the highest. So I remember in the first 3 to 4 years of my business, retention rate is always close to about 60 to 70%, right? And people go. But I just checked, right? Last year, I think our retention rate was like 99%. There was only one individual who decided that really real estate is not for him and he decided to go. But like what you mentioned accurately, boss, systems are extremely important, right? And one of the reasons why I decided to go to 61 was also because actually I had a heart for individuals like my dad, who has been taught when they were younger.
I understand.
Actually now they are kind of feeling that they're phasing out, right?
Relevance
is no longer there. Of course, sometimes you can point a finger and say that, why aren't you adapting? But I also understand that as I grow older now, looking at the Gen Zs, they're really crazy. Ask me to do live stream and stuff like that. I'm still struggling, but it has to be done. Eventually, I just have to do it. But to have that kind of safe space for them to say, actually, I still see value in my life and I want to do better. So that's why I expanded a bit older.
I think that's a very, very powerful statement on really to have feeling for a certain group of people because you care. Because when you care about something, you take action and you will surely put in place things that can help them. It's not just to do things for the sake of doing things. And from that, actually, you have answered one of my questions earlier on is that, what do you do every day? But now I listen to your 900 consultation, plus all the other things, plus time to plan, plus family.
It's crazy.
I think that's already a lot of things. But I think at this point, right, prioritization is very important. We only have 24 hours. So we'll still get back to every single message that we have, but we still need to settle the important stuff first.
That's right.
Because this kind of stuff, right, there's a lot of people waiting on our decision so that they can move forward.
Correct.
Then we'll take care of the individual later on because I'm responsible for that. I help other people fulfill their responsibility and then come back to us. So in case every one of you are building an organization out there, thinking of how to segregate your time, check out the 1/3 rule that Jervis shared earlier on. In fact, I learned this from somebody interesting, CJ.
Oh.
I couldn't complete my team appraisal 1 year,
Yeah.
and he have 3 to 4 times, or maybe even 5 times my team size, and he
Yes.
completed it.
Yeah.
Then I was like curious. I asked him how did he do it. Then he asked me one question: do you approach who first? The people who are producing,
Yeah.
effective, or the people who are struggling?
Yeah.
I say I went for the people who are struggling first
Yes.
because our heart is always
Yes,
with them, right?
that's right.
He said that's not wrong, but
Yes.
it will be easier if you approach people who are effective.
Yes.
Because they need less of your time. They just
Correct.
need a quick session. In fact, they also don't have much time to spend with
I
you.
agree.
Alignment.
Yeah.
Just update them, or
Yes.
they can share with you what the challenges they are facing.
Yeah.
And the talk is very straight.
I agree.
What do I need? What can you help me with?
Yeah.
Build a bit of relationship. Off they go.
And I agree with this completely because similar to you, right? My heart goes out to the struggling agents in
Yeah.
the past. So I'm like struggling, like, how can I just be a numbers-driven leader, right? I mean, people have their livelihoods as well. But I realized that when we spend more time with people who are more effective,
Yeah.
actually what happens is that these people who are effective, when they experience your love, they are more than happy to support people who are struggling.
Multiplier. Your multipliers.
Correct, that's
Yeah.
right. And this struggling agent will have not just me, but multiple people who are focusing on them.
Yeah.
So it took me a couple of years to realize that also.
Yeah. So after we settled that portion of people, right, we have the rest of the time free of our mind to help whoever that needs our
Agree.
help from there.
Yes.
I think this is really something that I learned from CJ as well. And for those of you building your team,
Yes.
struggling with time, maybe this is a good advice and walk the talk by Jervis itself.
Yes.
I think we shared a lot today. So what's one or maybe some advice I can share with people?
Yeah.
People who are looking to come into real estate
Yeah.
to replicate what you have done.
Yeah.
Or number 2, entrepreneurs who are building a business in this age and era, right?
Yeah.
What can we share with them about how to scale and how to build their leadership?
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing for individuals who are coming to real estate, right? This business is tough,
Yeah.
right? I think a lot of people feel that this business is easy because of what you see on social media. But if you see the math behind it, this business is tough. But this business is extremely rewarding. So if you are someone who is driven, you are someone who don't want people to just hand feed you, but you're someone who thinks like an entrepreneur, come to real estate. I think that's something that I will always encourage people, right? The sky is really the limit in real estate because this is what I believe, right? It is like a low, not high cost, it's kind of a middle come low cost business that allows you to make 6, 7, 8 figures eventually, right? So I think that's number 1. And number 2, for entrepreneurs out there who are thinking, hey, business, maybe you're having a tough time. I think this is something that I learned at a really young age. And this is something that Promise Management actually shared a lot with me as well. Put your core values first, right? Be a person of character first before you be a person of competence. Because your character fits your foundation.
Yeah.
I didn't have the best character growing up because as an only child, not that my parents didn't spend time with me, but I couldn't really learn all the core values from my parents, right? They are always busy working and stuff like that. And I was in my own world trying to figure out my own core values. So I didn't even know there was this thing called the grey line. I think that there are things that there's no such thing called black and white. It's always just anything. You just do anything to win the competition. And I learned that from a young age that is completely wrong. And because of this character and this season that I had where I lost a lot of realtors, my reputation took a hit. I learned so much, and that foundation now is a fortress that I was so confident to build my team on right now because of my principles and my core values. So that is something that I think you should put first. Even though it's a long route, character always comes before competence. I believe in that. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So I think this is really some very, very valuable advice from Jervis itself, right? So I think this is really one key thing I just want to just reiterate is that every one of us make mistakes.
Yeah.
But the key thing is that from here, how do we move forward? There will still be people judging us when we are 100 years old or maybe 200 years later. But these are not the people who we need to justify or prove to.
That's right.
But for people who are around us, support us. And then what Jervis shared a little bit about is your environment.
Yes.
If you are in an environment of growth,
Yeah.
I think things are a lot easier. It's a lot easier to align our thoughts and then to move forward.
And I want to share one thing. One of the reasons why one of my goals when I was in PropNext, right, was that I really want to win in the largest estate agency. And some people question me. They say, actually winning in the other agencies is easier. Why not you just go there? I say that's wrong, right? Because when I compare individuals from PropNext and other agencies, right, the mindset is very different. Right? A PropNext agent, because of the management time of investing in us, investing in the systems, investing in our tech, I was recently on board Investment Suite, surprisingly, and it changed my life. Shout out to Jason for really training our entire team of 90 there, and Kelvin Fong, boss Kelvin Fong is always pushing that. I can tell you that the phenotype of PropNext agent is very different. Okay, an engaged PropNext agent, I wouldn't say everybody, right? But an engaged PropNext agent is very different. They want to compete, yet they want to love, and they want to support one another. This is the environment of growth that you're talking about. Yeah, and I'm very, very thankful about this.
I think that's great. Really, truly supporting each another, and the leaders really is there to safeguard and then to not just lead but to serve
Yes, and protect us.
and to protect.
Yes, always.
So if you learn something from this podcast or you got something to share with us, just comment below in the comment section.
Yep.
We'll be there to reply back to you. And if you're looking for more tips and advice, reach out to Jervis.
Thank you.
At your Instagram handle,
Yes,
TikTok.
Jervis Isaiah _ That's it for my IG.
Yeah, we'll put it in the link below, so you
Sure.
just contact him, DM him. He's more than happy to just share with you what he's been through.
Yes.
Okay, with that, I think we are good.
Yes.
Thank you for being on this
Thank you,
podcast
boss,
together
for
with
having
us.
me. Yes.
And then do stay tuned for our next episode of our podcast. See you
Yes.
soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.